again. I said I would do the triple review thing. It's nighttime now, it's kind of late. And I've got to try and review these 3 movies that I'm talking about. Brothers, The Book of Eli, and Invictus. Now, I still have 2 other to do that 3 other to do that I've seen, but I'll get these 3 done first in this triple review, which is going to be hard to do, but I've done 4 movies before, if you've ever seen my exam leave DVD thingy. But let's get into this. The Brothers. This is the first one, I guess. Brothers stars Natalie Portman, Jake Gyllenhaal, and Tobey Maguire, Mr. Peter Parker. Now, Brothers is to do with the story of one soldier, Tobey Maguire, who goes off to Afghanistan, is supposedly killed. And he's left a wife, played by Natalie Portman, and kids who are, I don't know who they are, but they are the best goddamn child acting I've probably seen in, I don't know, ever. And the film basically chronicles when he's dead, his brother's there to sort of step into his shoes, become the fatherly figure, but he becomes too much of a fatherly figure, if you know what I mean. And when you find that Tobey Maguire comes back from the dead, he is basically goes all schizo and tries and finds out that they had something going on. Jake Gyllenhaal and Natalie Portman. Now, the film is good. It's not brilliant, it's not very good, it's just good. It's like right down the middle of being a good movie, nearly to a mediocre movie. It's not brilliant, but it does have some great points about it. The performances, especially from Tobey Maguire and those damn kids, is amazing. They are really good in this film. It's Tobey Maguire giving probably one of his best performances, going up with him in Seabiscuit, which I still think is his best performance, and of course Peter Parker and Spider-Man, which Spider-Man 2, by the way, the best goddamn superhero movie ever, still beats The Dark Knight in my opinion. And the performances are all around great, and it does have some really dramatic scenes and sometimes really gripping scenes at times. But it's not enough. This film lacks an emotional punch, which apparently I cannot compare it to the original because I haven't seen it, but like the original apparently, it has a much more emotional punch than this movie. Also, some of the acting, shall we say, is so underused and kind of bad that you can't even see why it was in this movie. Carey Mulligan was in this film. I really like Carey Mulligan, even though she's in Wall Street 2, Money Never Sleeps. Money will come out my pocket to see that movie and I will have a good snooze. Maybe that's what the title should be called. I don't know. I'm coming up with something right now about it. And she was so underused. She was in this movie for about 2 minutes. I'd heard she was in this movie and I thought, cool, Carey Mulligan. Jesus Christ, she's in it for 2 minutes at the most. For one scene. It's not much, really. And even though it does have some great performances, it lacks an emotional punch, and really all the scenes that I talked about that are kind of gripping and really dramatic come way too late for me. I really wasn't invested enough, and it didn't go far enough to make me care. And also the war scenes in this movie are pretty damn stupid and pretty awfully directed, but I can give it enough because the performances are so really damn good, especially from all the cast, but most notably those kids in Tobey Maguire. I give it a 6.5 out of 10. Wow, this is going to take a bit. The Book of Eli is the next one. Now, I really liked The Book of Eli. I know a lot of people probably didn't, but I really liked it as what it was, which was an action movie. An action movie was what I was looking for in The Book of Eli. I went to the cinema, not to see The Edge of Darkness, because I knew someone who wanted to see it and couldn't go see it then because they were going to something else and I had to go and see something else. So The Book of Eli was my choice of the day. Now, The Book of Eli is directed by the Hughes brothers. The Hughes brothers did From Hell. Now, it stars Denzel Washington and Mila Kunis, I think. And even though Mila Kunis is still probably the best out of the 70s show, and forgetting Sarah Marshall, she was pretty damn good in this. Denzel Washington plays basically the man, shall we say, from The Road, or the black guy who lost all his clothes in The Road. The comparisons to this movie and The Road, the better movie, is unbelievable. So the story consists of the man, Denzel Washington, going west constantly for around 30 years, and he's protecting this book. The book has extreme religious tones about it, and basically Gary Oldman's character is trying to get this book because he wants to use it as a weapon, and Mila Kunis is his stepdaughter, and she doesn't like the way he's doing things, so she leaves with Denzel Washington. And then what happens? Well, what ensues basically is the best goddamn apocalypse / Hollywood action movie I've probably seen in a really, really long time. I do not compare this to the best apocalypse movie I've probably seen, which is The Road. I would probably more compare this to Mad Max. See what I mean? So the film, basically what I was looking for was an action movie. I was actually kind of looking for a dumb action movie. I actually got a more intelligent action movie, which I was really pleasantly surprised by. This film really worked for me. The action scenes are phenomenally good, really slick, really well directed, and are a lot of fun to watch. If you just go into the film looking for an action movie, that's what you're going to get. If you're looking for something with a lot of character development, whatnot, brilliant storyline, prepare to be a tad bit disappointed. But this film rocked for me. Really well action and really well direction. Even had solid performances from Denzel Washington, who I'm starting to think was turning into the new Cuba Gooding Jr. He was getting really bad in some movies, until he got to the level of where he went to straight to DVD, like Taken of Pelham 1, 2, 3 should have. Cannot beat that original film. Such a good film. But this one really worked for me. Solid performances. Even though it has problems, it has religious undertones that kind of don't work. The first 20 minutes of the film about solitude and loneliness really kind of don't work. And the plot twist is kind of stupid. But it really works, and it's a hell of a lot of fun. I'd probably even consider buying this on DVD. And believe me, seeing Dumbledore with a shotgun is awesome. So I give it an 8 out of 10. Comment, whatever you want. I really liked the film, and I know some people did. The last one is the one I didn't like so much, which was Invictus. This is Clint Eastwood's brand new film, starring Morgan Freeman and Matt Damon. Now, the film, I wasn't getting excited about. I had real big doubts about it after seeing the trailer, which, for the first 20 seconds of that trailer, it looked okay. Morgan Freeman's Nelson Mandela. Who else would play him? I don't know. But then it got into really silliness when Matt Damon gets into the car, if we all remember this trailer, and says, "He wants me to win the Rugby World Cup." It's so unbelievably stupid at that point, I thought, wow, what have you done, Mr. Eastwood? I really can't forgive you for this movie. And let's basically get into it. Morgan Freeman plays Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela is, of course, the president of South Africa, or was, and this is his first day in office after coming out of prison, and he wants Matt Damon, captain of the Springboks, to win the Rugby World Cup. Yes, the Rugby World Cup. And basically what happens is an extremely silly movie which warrants some really good performances. Now, let's just get into some parts of the movie I liked. I did like the performances. Who else is going to play Nelson Mandela apart from Morgan Freeman? Morgan Freeman was the perfect choice for this movie, and he's really good in it. He plays Nelson Mandela in every way we thought we could see a Nelson Mandela. And Matt Damon is just fine. He does nothing outstanding, he does nothing new here. He's probably better in the Bourne movies, to be honest. But the problem is Clint Eastwood. This is a Clint Eastwood film. Now, when we see a Clint Eastwood film, we know it's a Clint Eastwood film. Half the audience, when the film ended, when it came up with directed by Clint Eastwood, went, "This was directed by Clint Eastwood. What the fuck?" And then we just sat there for about the second half of the film, which is the part I really didn't like. The script of this movie is really, really silly. I can't really forgive him for making a script that is so preposterous and so silly that they tried to make a scene that is supposed to be emotionally uplifting and gripping with a rugby match. Rugby is not a gripping sport to watch, to be honest. And they didn't do it well in the film, I thought. I thought it was very mundane, very melodramatic, and really didn't work. And it was just grabbing for awards. That's all I got out of this film. Also, Clint Eastwood's direction in this movie is unbelievably generic. I have never seen one movie that has been unbelievably silly with poor direction all round. There was nothing outstanding in this movie, and I really can't see the appeal of it. I give it a 5 out of 10, just for the fact that it has pretty damn awesome performances from Morgan Freeman, and just because it's a Clint Eastwood film. I really can't give it any higher than that.